Fast developing China, Peter, but also choked with car traffic. Surely this is a great place for electric car makers.
Well, that's what people seem to be betting on. We've had Wangshang, which is the largest car parts maker in China, entering and bidding and winning the auction for the assets of the bankrupt electric car company Fisker. And at the same time, we've got Tesla, which is the high-end U.S. electric car maker, also saying that it expects China to account for something like 30 to 35% of its sales in 2014.
It sounds like a great plan, but there must be some serious challenges, and I'm thinking of infrastructure as the major one.
That's right. China's electric car infrastructure basically requires charging points. That's for proper electric cars rather than hybrids, which run on petrol and charge at the same time. So you need an infrastructure of charging points where people could be confident that they can come along and plug their cars in. And China really hasn't developed that in the same way that countries like the US have. But we think that actually China has many of the potential building blocks to allow it to catch up with and overtake the West when it comes to electric cars. Really, there's a couple of points here. First of all, it has a fairly dense urban population, which means that there's a strong incentive to put in place charging points, and you can serve a lot of cars in a relatively small space. And secondly, it's obviously got a government that can basically dictate these things in a much more straightforward way than you can somewhere like the US. So we think both those factors could actually really give Chinese electric cars a big boost in the future.
So big potential for these companies coming in. How long do you think it might take for them to really start winning the market?
Well, so China sold about 18,000 electric cars last year, which is about a fifth of what was sold in the US.
Yeah, that's not very much.
It's not very many, no, not at all. And even the Teslas and so forth are still pretty high-end cars. I mean, I think the Tesla's going to cost the equivalent of about 120,000 US dollars in China. So it's not going to be a mass market vehicle. But the thing is that the hope is that will then sort of drive adoption further down the market. So it's going to take a while. It'll probably take up to another sort of 8-10 years for China to overtake to become the world's largest market. But it's already the world's largest market for regular cars, so the chances are that they will catch up. And then when you add in the sort of the benefits, not to mention the real need in China to try and limit pollution, there's another real benefit there, a real drive for electric cars. So we think there will be a big push there.
Electric car makers driving into China. Let's give them a decade and see how far they get.